Hello, everybody. You've tuned into the Indiana State Police Roadshow. I'm your host, Sergeant Rich Myers with the Indiana State Police Public Information Office. I appreciate you tuning in to us. We're brought to you each and every week by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. My guest, Greg Oeth, did you have something to do with this Cops for Kids? Am I remembering that right?
I was chairman of Cops for Kids for several years.
That's what I thought, yeah. Sheriff Greg Oeth, retired Indiana State Police First Sergeant Greg Oeth. Thank you for being up here. A long way from Posey County.
It's a little bit of a drive, but things are getting better. We got that I-69 corridor open up. It's going to be a nice ride to Indianapolis.
Is that the way you come up today?
I did not go that way today. I went the other way, and I should have went that way because every time I plan, there's always something that causes a problem in getting back up to Indianapolis. But it's like old home week, like coming back home.
Good. Glad to have you up here. Greg Oeth retired from the as a first sergeant in the lab. Is it in Evansville? Did you start out there when you came on?
I started out there, but I ended up being assigned to the headquarters laboratory.
Okay.
I retired as a supervisor.
But when you came on the department, were you in Evansville then?
My first duty assignment was in Evansville. Yeah.
And is that where you're from?
I'm from Posey County. I'm from Mount Vernon.
All right. So what year was it that you came on?
Came on in 1983. We had a dry spell. I had applied back in 81, I guess, and I think we had a three-year freeze on hiring. So there was.
So you applied and they accepted you, and you had to wait, or how'd that work out?
No, we just had to wait to begin the process.
Okay.
I began the process in late 82, and then came
Got
in.
accepted in 83.
41st Recruit Academy.
Came out, went back down to Evansville.
Went back south.
And how long did you work the road down there then?
I worked the road a couple of years, 4 years, just shy of 4 years, and then I went into the detective office and did a little stint in the detective office.
Stint being how long?
Just a couple of years in the detective office, and I was doing a lot of my own work at crime scenes, and then I had a couple of detectives that was calling me over to do some work for them at crime scenes, and kind of found a little niche there, and had an opportunity to go in the laboratory and stayed there throughout the rest of the career. So
you were one of the CSIs that we call them now, one of the guys out on the scenes.
Right. I went in and as an analytical person. And
what's that mean?
I started working in firearms and tool marks and fingerprints, and then I was getting called to come again back out in the field and do some work for the detectives, and it just evolved that we created some other new positions in the regional laboratories. So I transferred back out into the field, and then I worked my way up into supervising. When I retired, I was a commander of the South region for the laboratory division over the CSI program.
How long were you a CSI?
I was CSI. I think I went into the CSI about 1990, 91, and then I retired. And I was still doing that work.
Right, yeah.
Even as supervisor, I was still doing that work.
Yeah, you're filling in on people on vacation and helping them out.
Absolutely. Well, it just seemed like we had some horrific crime scenes, and it gave me the opportunity to go all over the state. I've literally worked cases in every district, and and they were high-profile cases, a lot of murder cases, a lot of crimes against people.
A lot of people don't realize, too, as a CSI, you do a lot of testifying.
Right.
You're in court a lot because you're testifying to the evidence and how it was gained and how it was brought in, and that's, I'm sure, one of the defense's favorite positions to attack if they don't have any other.
Right. If there's no evidence, there's really no case. So we put the voice to the evidence. That was our job, and I'm really pleased. I couldn't have had a better career. It was a wonderful career, and it gave me an opportunity to again go all over the state and meet a lot of people and gain a lot of information. I learned a lot from going around and working with all the different agencies and throughout the whole spectrum of criminal justice.
So then, what put it into your head to say, "Hey, I want to be the Sheriff of Posey County"?
That idea came about maybe halfway through my career. I was doing a lot of traveling, and the department was very good to me. We had the air section. We had a fixed wing aircraft and a helicopter stationed at the Evansville airport. So a lot of times they would fly me into different locations to review and look and work various crime scenes. And I don't know, long about halfway through, I thought, maybe it'd be nice to be home.
Well, you were kind of doing that thing with the Alliance along that same time too, weren't
right,
you?
I was, when I retired, I was president of the Alliance. And, a lot of mileage. My mileage pen went up,
considerably.
They just got a dial on my mileage pen.
Can you get that with a plane? Does that count? Did you figure that in?
I think I put that on my dailies, I think. I don't know. I'd have to, I don't know, the statute of limitations.
Yeah, it's
maybe.
gone. You don't have to worry.
But no, we had a good time. It was a great career, and I wish I could do it over again.
So then you decided to run, had a successful campaign.
I decided to run, got involved in politics. I was very fortunate there again. I came on the state police at a young age. I just turned 22.
Mm-hmm.
How old were you when you came on?
22.
There we go. We share a lot in common. Yeah, a lot of things in common. That's a whole nother show. Other show. But I was very fortunate. I only had to run one campaign. I'm in my second term now. I'm getting ready to finish up my 6th year. So
good.
I had an initial primary race, and after that, every other race I was unopposed. So very fortunate, very lucky.
Well, that says something about how you're doing down there.
I don't know. Maybe it's. I kind of look at it the other way. Everybody realizes that.
Man, I don't want that job.
Foolish to get involved with this. So yeah, sure.
Well, that's great. So how big a department have you got down there?
When I went in the agency, we had 11 deputies, and now we're up to 17 deputies. So
wow.
We've done some really good things in the agency. We're getting ready to break ground on September 30th to put a new jail addition on, which will actually become our jail.
Okay.
We're going to increase our bed size almost 4 times.
Wow.
So
same location,
same location. So that's a big plus for me to be able to leave the agency a lot better off than the way I found it. So we'll be undertaking that shortly. And of course, that's been a mission of love, I guess. We've spent a number of years getting to this point, and
it doesn't happen overnight, does it?
It does not. It does not. So we'll be bringing that to our county, and we've increased the manpower of the agency, and we've established a lot of new programs. We've gone and increased the benefits for our personnel.
That's great.
I'm really pleased. I'm really proud, and it's been a cooperative effort with the other county officials, the council, and the commissioners, and so we're doing well. I'm very pleased.
Good. Well, again, you're listening to the ISP Indiana State Police Roadshow. I've got Sheriff Greg Oeth from Posey County, retired First Sergeant with the Indiana State Police out of the Laboratory Division. And one of the main reasons I brought you up here today, it's something that you've done that's really unique for this year. Not a lot of people are going to be involved in this, but you were actually one of the torchbearers for the Bicentennial.
I was one of the torchbearers, once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Yeah. How'd that come about? How do you get nominated or elected to do that?
Well, you have there's someone that nominates you, and they do a bio on you, and they submitted that into I believe it was the office of the Lieutenant Governor, the state Lieutenant Governor, and that's who's overseeing the torch relay, and the process went through as it was, and they made selections. We had 20 selected from Posey County.
Wow. So there was actually 20 people that hand-touched that torch as it came through Posey County.
As it came through the county, we had 20 people involved in moving it through the county. Our county, I think, is a little fortunate because we're the very southwest corner of the state, so it had to come through our county and kind of at a 90 degree. It came through on the south end and then worked its way up through the northern part of the county. So we had some 26 miles that we covered with those 20 people. And, of course, it's very regimented, and the department is handling the logistics of moving that along all of the roadways. So I received it on the last leg. I took it on through the north part of the county.
Now, was this a combination, or was it everybody walking it, running it? Was it driven, or was it a combination, or how'd that work out?
Combination. Really, how you move the torch is really up to the individual torchbearer with some parameters. I went to an orientation at Vincennes University. It was one of the regional sites for providing everybody with information, and I heard everything from scooters to hot air balloons, and I think some aircrafts involved. And
blimps? So, was there any blimps?
I don't know that I heard any blimps or zeppelins that's coming in, but so with some broad parameters, I think the committee's established how it's going to move through the state. It's got 3,200 miles to travel before it comes back into Indianapolis on the 15th of October. So, but our group was unique. Some ran. Some had vehicles that represented the businesses they were involved in.
Okay.
Some danced. One lady that went her route
dancing
with various dance moves, and I saw that on the torch site they had a little clip of her. Yeah, it was.
Now, do you have all ages too? From
all ages. I know we had some. I don't know where the cutoff is. I know there's some young folks that I saw yesterday, just keeping up with it in Du Bois County. There was a young boy representing his mother who had passed away. He was running in honor of her, and he was running or handling at a young age. But I took the torch from a 99-year-old lady.
Wow.
So, and that was fun. That was really fun. She was very full of life, and she gave me a good embrace. I can tell you that.
So you guys, how long was your leg? How many?
I had the torch just short of 8 miles. I think I was right around the 8 mile.
So you ran it.
When they initially started talking about this, a lot of good friends of mine were talking about running it, and they were using these numbers in terms of blocks. And so, they came to me and said, you're going to have it 8. And I thought, well,
8 blocks.
8 blocks, that's, I can.
No
I
problem.
Can do that well, and as long as I stay out of camera range, I think I'll be fine. And then somebody said, no, you're going to have it, right
8 miles.
At 8 miles. So I quickly changed on the method of how I was going to bring the torch through the north end of the county. But I was fortunate. I got to go through 2 of our small communities.
Good.
And as I was leaving the county, the members of the community were in a little city park, and they were all there cheering us on as we went by. So pretty.
Well, I think it's something that everybody should see at some time, and it's going to be coming through your community or your county or whatever. I'm sure it's quite something to see as they pass it off.
Well, the department does a great. We've got the motorcycles involved and the caravan, and of course there's advanced security and safety that's about a half hour out.
Okay.
Ahead of the group, and then of course there's technical people that Purdue University designed the torch, and it's got GPS in it, and it's got video cameras on it, and still camera capability on it, and it runs on E85 fuel. So as they were breaking this down for me, the big worry was, okay, if I break this, how much is this going to cost?
Yeah. How much is Posey County?
How much is Posey County going to be liable for here? And you know how that works. That will probably turn out how much is Greg Oeth liable for.
Yeah. So you did get it passed off without a problem, though.
I took it to the Gibson County line and passed it off, and we didn't have any problem, and it proceeded north from there. One of the things that was even made it more memorable for me was we were doing it on 9/11. So, yeah. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that made it really, really neat.
Well, Greg, I appreciate you coming up. We've ran out of time here talking about old times and something that, again, it's going to be memorable for you and for Posey County and doing that running of the torch. And I appreciate you coming all the way up here.
Well, thanks for the invitation.
You're welcome anytime.
All right. Thanks so much.
Well, again, you've been listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance and Cops for Kids, and my man behind the scene, who I failed to thank earlier, Tom Trio, for putting us on YouTube. We thank you for listening to the Roadshow. I've been talking to retired First Sergeant Greg Oeth with the Laboratory Division from the Indiana State Police, now the Posey County Sheriff. Thanks for coming up and talking to us, Greg. We'll catch you again next week on the Indiana State Police Roadshow. Roadshow is out.